in fourth place. But Freddie T pulled down 54% of yesterday's vote on the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. MJD, 25.4% for his 2011 campaign. Jimmy Smith, as I mentioned, set franchise records for receptions and receiving yards in 99. And Calais Campbell with the 14.5 sacks, runner-up defensive player of the year. Starting to hear a lot, of just people kind of casually mentioning, Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the MVP discussion this year.
Right.
I don't doubt that, right? I know Pete Prisco was talking about that last week on the Frangie show. But I think this is going to become more widespread, much like everyone's going to pick the Jags to win the division, right? I mean,
there'll be one, maybe.
You think? I mean, there might be one,
there's
right?
always somebody trying to be
It's going to stand out, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And that's probably why they will do it. But outside, like talking about national projections on this team. And to some degree, makes you wonder, how good is the team and how well-positioned are they simply just based on the competition, right?
Okay.
And there's a combination. They're getting better. But are they an elite roster right now? I don't know if they're elite, and I'm not going just on Prisco's top 100 players. As, Tony Baselli was talking about, I heard with you guys this morning. That's one guy's subjective opinion. Maybe 5 Jaguars are, if you could really grade it, would be top 100 players. Maybe 3, maybe whatever. Maybe it'd just be Trevor Lawrence. And Pete had Christian Kirk in, I think, at 87 as well. But a lot of, just overwhelmingly, people are going to pick the Jags to win the division because there's really no other good alternative. I saw this at Sports Illustrated today. And this seems really harsh. Like, nobody here likes the Titans, right? But we realized they lost their quarterback, and they went into a tailspin at the end of the year. And it still took the Jags making a big play in the final 5 minutes of the game to secure the division title, right? Or we're going, damn, Titans did it again. Like, unbelievable, right? But they didn't. But they didn't. We got them. We got some degree of revenge. So they're doing a 32 teams in 32 days season preview. So I said, let me see what they say about the Titans. And I'm looking through, and, it's this and that, and all stuff you generally know. You get down to the bottom line of it. What's the final record? Where are they going to finish in their division? This is supposed to be maybe the second best team, maybe a contender. We saw that one piece yesterday, I think it might have been at NFL.com, that had the 6 teams most likely to bounce back and make the playoffs that didn't make it last year, and they were number 6 on the list. So they're not completely thought of as an afterthought everywhere, but Sports Illustrated predicted them to go 5-12 and finish second in the AFC South. Now, take a guess who they're going to predict to go first in the AFC South, and it's a team that we cover on a daily basis, right? But 5-12, win 6 and go to the playoffs. Are you kidding me? I mean, now
that could have been us a couple years ago.
Oh my gosh! I mean, this is not gospel. This is one person's opinion. This is probably going to be on the low end of the projections, but I mean, this is a big part of why the division is in flux right now. The young quarterbacks transitioning to young quarterbacks. Will Tennessee make that transition? They did shop Derrick Henry. Was that a sign that they were willing to blow it up and maybe they didn't find any suitors and they're going to say, all right, our best case scenario is try to hold it together for one more year and be competitive and see where we stand with Will Levis or Malik Willis or whomever. But 5-12, man. You have this thing like late October and you're on cruise control, right? If you're the Jags, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. You still want to grind, man, because you want home playoff games. But, I never, that I can recall in the last 20 years or so, doing sports talk radio, seeing a team predicted to finish second in their division and be that miserable. I mean, at least I can't recall it. Maybe somebody's done it somewhere along the way, but it stands out in my mind, man. I mean, step on them when they're down, by the way. Got no problem with that.
Yeah, no problem.
And you saw the thing yesterday. We're talking about team most likely to improve in the AFC South. Somebody predicted it'll be Indy. And we were like, it kind of makes a little sense, right? Because where they were win total-wise, are they the most likely to gain like 3 or 4 wins if things play out well for them? And, some people think the Jags will be the team that gains 3 or 4 wins, and maybe they will fattening up on the likes of 5-12 Tennessee, second place Titans. Oh man, it's hard to believe that the competition is seen as that poor, and you get the NFC South on top of that. So these head-to-head games, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, no matter where they're played, going to be massive, man.
It's going to be huge, man. This is a big year for our Jaguars.
I mean, it really, and granted, like, if you lose week 2 to Kansas City, it's not the end of your season, right? There's a long way to go, but Kansas City's going to post up a number, right? They're going to have a dozen wins, probably in a down year, right? They're just that
double
good
digits
right
for sure,
now. Mahomes is that good. So if you lose that head-to-head, now you got to finish a full game ahead of them to have them make a return trip here when it really matters. So, it's just tough. You almost concede like you're not getting the bye in the AFC if you don't win that game early. I mean, you wouldn't concede that, but, objectively, it might not be the wrong conclusion to draw. So
and it's a good measuring stick to let us know where we're at early in the season.
It is, but you can't put all your chips on that game like they did in 2018 with the Patriots, right?
Yeah, correct.
Like you kind of sleptwalk through that Giants game. I ain't won it, it's fine. And come back and you're like, all right, we got our revenge. Ha! Not good enough. All right, so today, going to talk about Travis Etienne. I'm going to talk about a lot of things Jaguar related, but specifically Travis Etienne. Your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day is asking you to predict his stat line. Simple, want 3 categories. Want rushing yards, want receiving yards, and want total touchdowns between the two, what he'll do. If he happens to pop up in the return game on a rare occasion, so be it. But looking for the primary stats of rushing, receiving, touchdowns. And it's interesting. We'll talk about, trying to come up with the formula to figure this out because you figure, Tank Bigsby's here. I might be less touches. But then you realize, wait a minute. The guy didn't even start. He had single-digit carries in 3 of his first 4 games last year. So I don't know if he's going to lose that many opportunities in the overall, but you do have Calvin Ridley. You've got an advancing passing game. Maybe that just means there's more to go around for everybody, more sustained drives, more opportunities. So you let us know today how you think Travis Etienne is going to fare, and we're going to talk about his place in the Jaguar current pantheon. Got a lot of stuff I found that will be of interest to Jaguar fans that we'll dig into today as well. But we invite your calls and your feedback, however you want to give it, at 641-1010 on the phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, or hit me and E up on Twitter today at MD_1010XL and at IME2. The T.
Come on, somebody.
Come on, everybody. Jaguar fans, one and all. Mike Dempsey, Emmanuel Thalloran will be talking Jags with you until noon today, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, are you tired of overpaying for your tires? Well, you won't have to if you cruise into Tire Outlet. You'll get the best selection, best quality, and best prices on the tires you need to keep you and your family safe on the road. That's right, safe, especially in these wet, rainy conditions. With over 40 years of experience and 15 locations across Florida, 14 of those right here on the First Coast. Tire Outlet's the brand you can trust to perform great service at a great price. They've got expert technicians, and they're ready to do the maintenance and repairs you need that'll keep your vehicle performing at its best. And, man, do they have great deals on tires. Tire Outlet, where you always get wholesale prices and premium service.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
Business owners, regular maintenance of your storm drains is crucial for preventing parking lot floods and protecting your property from damage. Give Duck Duck Rooter a call today and schedule service with our VACCON team. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself? Call J-Dog. Here now, proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills, and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
It's time to fire up the grill. Houston's Meat Specials of the Week. 10 pounds of fresh jumbo chicken wings, only $12.95. 2-pack pork spare ribs, only $1.99 a pound. And whole T-bone steaks at $5.95 a pound. Only at Houston's Meats, Main Street and 295.
Have lunch with XL Primetime this Friday, June 23rd at the Players Grill off Hendricks Avenue. Enjoy $3 Miller Lite while hanging with Joe, Matt, Mia, and Leon. Join 1010XL at the Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Jacksonville people, the best wings in town are coming to Mandarin. The Players Grill is expanding and opening soon on San Jose. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizza, salads, and more. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our summer termite special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
'Tis the season to be cool. Florida Home AC wants to make sure you're not cooked like a Christmas goose this summer. Make sure your AC unit is ready for the heat, and if it's time to look at replacement, look for quality and value. You'll get that from Florida Home AC. And right now, take advantage of $1,750 off a brand new heating and AC unit. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for all the details and trust a company that will always keep you cool. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Sweltering weather, the dog days of summer at the office, and no Jaguars on-field action for 6 whole weeks. So let us help you beat the summer heat with The Scoop. New episodes every Wednesday all summer long on the 1010XL social channels and wherever you get your podcasts.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I got sucked into the rabbit hole here of just one clip. I don't even know how I found this. It's not even in English. But there's a clip on here somebody put, and it's supposed to represent, like, kind of failure to launch. Like, you get off to a good start and you fail, I suppose. And it's somebody going off the edge of a cliff on a hang glider. And everything starts fine. And then down the hill, there's one single lone palm tree. Guess who goes right into that palm tree and falls like 20 feet?
That's a bad day right there.
Yeah, it's a bad day, bro. I mean, you know, you look at the fall, and it's like they probably didn't break their back, but it probably wasn't too comfortable either. But, man, you would think maybe pick another spot. There's literally one tree on the whole mountain that you can see that is tall enough to be an impediment, and it's directly in front of where this guy jumps off, and he, of course, goes right into it. So that's just the way it goes, man. You know, I love the golf. I am bummed that I don't get to maybe hit the balls today, but it's more like, honestly, I'm on the weight loss kick, and right now that's my exercise, right? And I'm like eating so little it would boggle your mind, right? So I walk in today, and you got the big bag of Chick-fil-A behind you. You know, thanks, Brunch with the Tour. Appreciate that. I mean, I get it. You know, like, I don't begrudge you eating it, but I see it, and I'm like, dang, man, why can't I just be a fat boy and just grab that bag and go for, like, 2 chicken biscuits?
Because, you're more than welcome.
I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Like, I've been watching Alone. You ever watch Alone, that survival series?
No, you told me about it, but no.
Yeah, I'm not watching the current season, which is I guess it's on the History Channel, but I came across a season, I guess the most recently completed one on Netflix. Basically, you know, people go out into the wilderness. It's a pre-selected area, and this one was up in somewhere in British Columbia, up in Canada, right?
Okay.
Grizzly bears everywhere, by the way. I mean, like they give them like bear spray and a horn to scare them away, but kind of up to the bear, right? If he's going to get scared away. Nobody got it mauled by a bear, but they would come out of their tent in the morning or whatever. Like they have a tarp. They get 10 items they can take with them, right? And they, you know, like you take a survival knife or whatever the case may be. And, you know, you got to build your own shelter. They give you nothing, right? You got these 10 items. You go in, you got the clothes on your back, and hopefully you choose wisely, and you go in there, and you got to build a shelter that you're going to live in for maybe several months if you're lucky enough to last that long. But so people will use the tarp, and they'll build like a little cabin or whatever, and they'll use the tarp, and then they'll you know, put moss on top of that to just trying to insulate it and all that. So they're in their little houses almost, or tents or whatever, and they come out in the morning, and there'll be like grizzly bear tracks like 25 feet walking right past them in the middle of the night, you know, and you're like, the hell? I would like to know, like, when I was younger, that was something I would have done in a heartbeat. Like, I'm an old man now. I wouldn't last a week, right? But, I mean, I feel like the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. So don't get fat, kids, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I have been grinding the last month and a half, basically, right, to lose. And I passed my goal weight, but I know my body, and as long as I've gone as hard as I've gone the last month and a half, typically I'd probably be like 15 pounds more down than I am now. So every time I don't exercise, it's just a setback in my mind, right? So maybe I just do need to go somewhere where it's a delicacy to suck the eyeballs out of a dead rabbit's head, because that's what they'll do.
You got to survive.
And they're like, oh, these eyeballs taste so good. I mean, it's crazy, right? Like fish gut soup. But the one dude makes soup out of tree bark, right? Or what he called the underbark. Not like the thick, the heavy wood part, but not the outside bark. So he'd like chop the little outside bark off, and then he'd be cutting strips of the very next layer. And he's like, oh, it's full of nutrients. And he throws them up in a pot, and, you know, they got a pot to cook with. That's one of the items. And so he's got a fire going, and he boils them up. And what do you think happens, He gets sick to his freaking stomach is what happens, because he's eating tree bark. Like, oh, man, it's I mean, you'll try, I guess, just about anything when you're that hungry.
What's the winner get from this show?
$500,000.
Is that worth $500,000?
It may be. You know, like, it's basically like 2 months, but the worst is, like, they're down to 2. You don't know how many people are left. For all you know, like, one guy, they did like a recap episode. They showed all the winners from the past, and I think the longest guy had to go like 100 days. So over 3 months. And, you know, they did it on the plains of Mongolia once. They've done it like in the desert kind of, but, you know, very mountainous, cold regions and what have you. And this time it was 70-something days that they get to, right? And you have no idea. And the one guy ends up quitting, and the other guy had food because he had gotten some game. He had trapped some game. So he was good for like another week and a half at minimum, right? So it wasn't going to be that close. But could you imagine, like, you might be a day away from the other guy tapping out and giving you $1 million bucks.
Man, yeah.
And you watch it when you're done, and you're like, I went through all this, right? But the dude comes in, and they're like, a lot of times it's like a starvation contest. So people will put on a bunch of weight going in because your body will eat that stored fat, and you have a better chance to last longer because they will come in for medical checks. And if you're like too sickly, they'll take you out, and you have no say over it, right? So the one dude came in. He's like, this is the heaviest I've ever been, over 300 pounds. I'm like, I can relate. That's me. And dude, in like 60 days, lost 90 pounds, right? That's the dude who was eating the tree bark soup right there. So I don't know. Maybe we could come up with like a local version of that. It'd be like Aaron Rodgers going into the dark for a week, right? Send Dempsey into the woods for a week. I would not.
You ever seen the movie?
Well.
You ever seen the movie The Revenant?
Oh yeah.
That every time I think of a bear mauling, I think of that movie.
Bro,
Great movie.
How can you not?
Right?
Is there another classic example of a bear mauling? I don't know, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed that movie, but man, that was some gritty, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But it was great too. I mean, just like, oh yeah, he's dead. Yeah. Oh, spoiler. Sorry if you haven't seen The Revenant.
It's long, but it's actually worth it.
What's the embargo time on spoilers for a movie?
Good question. I don't know.
A year?
Gotta be.
I think a year is kind of safe, right? Like if you haven't watched it, it's come out on streaming, it's on Blu-ray or something.
Probably even on YouTube by now.
Probably. Look, I guarantee you, it's on. I could tell you a few websites where it might be posted right now. But like, I would not talk about the Flash movie,
right?
Because it just came out in theaters, like a week ago.
Oh, LaShawn McCoy's around here.
No,
right?
Don't be that guy. Like. LaShawn McCoy's out there trying to spoil Endgame, man. Like, I mean, the
day after, right?
And it's the culmination of like 12 years of movies leading up to this, and everyone's so hyped. That's why I literally, man, when I was in line for that movie, la 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 la.
For people walking out,
I was because they were coming out, and the guy goes, "Could you believe?" And I'm like, "No." And like, how could you spoil it on the doorstep of me walking
that
in?
Movie, the culmination, right?
Yeah, so I'm not down with that at all. But so anyway, you got to watch something. I don't have, I'm not one to go back and watch sporting events over and over and over again. Every once in a while, I'll throw on a classic something. But, if you know the outcome, it's not as interesting. Although, then again, there are movies I'll watch
over and
20
over.
times, so I guess it all depends. But I like Alone, but I felt like in the end, it was less about survival and more about, who was fat enough to withstand it. Because, they come in and they're like, yeah, by the way, half your toes are frostbitten. We're going to take you out for that too, And so I'd like to think there was a time in my life I could have made it a while. But I don't have any of those skills, E. Like, these are like the master survivalists on the show. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like
building,
fishing,
starting fires out of nothing.
In Jacksonville, this is probably unseemly to admit, I've never caught a fish in my life.
That makes two of us.
Never caught a fish. Have you tried fishing?
No.
As a kid, I did.
Okay.
Like my dad would take me in Connecticut, but it was more just like to sit there with your dad holding a pole. And we just sat on the rocks. We didn't have any kind of fancy bait or anything like that. And it was just like, bonding thing. And that was fun. And a few times, like growing up, I went fishing. Like, I love to go crabbing. That's what we did in high school.
That's easy, though.
Oh, it's so easy. That's why I love it. I mean, you tie a little chicken in the bottom of a crab trap, bro, you're guaranteed to have success, right? Depending on what time of year it is. But they're out there. They're like, let me make this lure out of this piece of tree bark, whatever. And they're carving this thing, and then they just throw it out there with their hand, and dude pulls out like a trout, like 50 feet long. It's like, what in the world is going on? I can't catch a damn fish, and these people are catching them with their fingers practically, man. So I'd like to think I would last. I just would not last. How do we get on that? Who knows? But that's what we did. All right, let's do this. You and I have put together a list. Everyone wants a good June and July list, right? But this is our own self-created list. Because CBS Sports did for every team in the NFL, each team's best duo, heading into the year. There's got to be some connection. Like you might say, all right, Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, right? Well, they're not really connected other than the fact they play for the Chiefs. You could say Mahomes and Kelsey. All right, that makes sense. And granted, you could use Trevor Lawrence in almost any duo with any combination of offensive guys. But we're trying to come up with a list where we don't use them every time at least. And looking at it from this perspective, if you could choose a duo to be the Jaguars' best this year, that would most benefit them, how would you order that preference? Like, where would you put your emphasis? Hold that thought. Was it tough for you?
No.
Was easy?
Easy.
I came up with 5, and I didn't use the same player twice.
Me too.
Okay,
I
good.
try to do that.
That'll be good. All right, so we're going to go through. I bet we have some similar ones.
I'm almost positive we do.
So think along with us if you've got some suggestions out there for which duo you'd like to see succeed the most. Obviously, you want the Jags to succeed as a whole, right? So no matter where it comes from. Look, if Travis Etienne wants to go out there and run for 30 touchdowns this year and Trevor only throws for 20 because the running game is unstoppable, so be it. I don't care, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Jags win.
Right. Jags win. That's the bottom line. We all want to see Trevor Lawrence put up some eye-popping numbers.
Yeah,
right? There's
we
no
do.
question about that. But if he doesn't and they win, he's not going to care. You shouldn't care. Nobody's going to care, right? And you're going to love every player associated with that team for the rest of your fandom if they achieve the ultimate prize. So let's do that. ET and I have put together our own, and we'll see how many we can, kind of mentally match with you out there. So hit us up on the text line or the phone lines at 641-1010 or even on Twitter, even though that's not our official question of the day, if you want to reply to that with your thoughts on which duos would most benefit the Jags for going off in 2023. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey and Emmanuel Thalloran on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
In your free time, the last thing you want to do is clean your house.
Right.
First Coast Home Pros offers luxurious maid services you can trust. Weekly, bi-weekly, or even one-time deep house cleaning. FirstCoastHomePros.com. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
This is Coach Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing with my thoughts about the new rules in baseball. I won't miss the infield shift, and bigger bases are nice, but I'm most excited about the new pitch timer. That should speed up the game, but could also lead to more balks, especially since there's at least 13 different ways a pitcher can balk. And if you're balking at the high cost of good plumbing work, call my team at Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts. We're online at darleysplumbing.com. License number CFC 056702.
He doesn't live in the water.
What's going on here? Get him in the boat. Get him in the boat.
But he practically lives on it.
Nice. Woo!
Captain Kevin in the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Houston's Meats.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, how much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
David, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat's only a measure of weight for a gemstone. It would be no different than you going to a car dealer and asking how much a 2,500-pound car costs, which the car salesman would find is ridiculous. Diamonds are graded for 4 things. Carat weight's just one of those factors. The others are the cut, color, and clarity. At Underwood's, each of these factors is graded for specifically with a grade set by a certified gemologist at the American Gem Society or the Gemological Institute of America Diamond Grading Laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwood's, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the beauty, rarity, and value of the diamond. Everybody understands the value of a dollar, but at Underwood's, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if quality counts with you, stop by Underwood's.
San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
Run to the Jacksonville Sharks for their fight against the Carolina Cobras this Monday, June 26th at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of affordable fun anywhere else. The Force will be with you. It's Sharks Star Wars Night. Kids 6 to 16, sign up for our youth football camp. Learn drills and skills from coaches and players. Shark Tank this Monday, June 26th, 7 o'clock at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Call 904-621-0700 or go to jacksharks.com. And don't forget your lightsaber.
Warmer weather and longer days are here, and that means more time for golf. Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends and enjoy a fun day on our beautiful golf course. Hidden Hills Golf Club will take good care of you. HiddenHillsGC.com.
E.T., give me a Duval in there.
Duval!
That's very good, but I meant the Duval sub. It's the sub of the month this week at the Daily's Dash. We'll get one this month, and you'll know exactly how good it is. But I almost feel bad like pumping up one sub or sandwich as the sandwich of the month at Daily's because they're all so doggone good. Oh, it passes the taste test every time with the freshest, most quality ingredients, always piled high for your eating pleasure. Make sure to head by the Daily's Dash this month. Take advantage of the sub of the month. It is the Duval, and thank us later. The Daily's Dash, there for you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph is such a hardy, big, beautiful bike. If they come into the showroom, what can they find?
You're going to find everything from the modern classics, the Trident, the Scramblers, bobbers. We've got it all.
And inventory is always changing, right?
It is always changing. It's fluctuating fast. If you see it, you better get it.
So come on into the showroom. That's the easiest way. Or log on to cyclesofjacksonville.com. We're on Atlantic near Regency. That's Cycles of Jacksonville.
Now, 1010XL gives you even more sports talk and spirited conversation. You can't be serious. Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
Very amusing.
Then Hacker After Dark.
It's astounding. It's amazing.
Evenings on 1010XL. Now, more Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Jags start from their 38. They go left to right here. Inside handoff, Travis Etienne. He's into the open field, 40. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Travis Etienne.
Now, more Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, we'll actually get to what we talked about getting to here. We'll do our list of the duos that would most benefit the Jags to perform at a high level this year. I think that's a decent way to put it. Couple of reactions, though, E, on the text line. I assume this would come at some point. Said, Mike and E.T., I'll take you both to catch a fish whenever y'all want. I might take them up on that, honestly. I wouldn't mind. Like,
if you do it, I'm doing it.
I would love to. I mean, it's not like high on my bucket list, but I don't have anything against fishing. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why people enjoy it. Look, people probably think, you spend 4 hours on a damn golf course by yourself sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Like, how is that fun at all? And that's what I like to do. You do you, I'll do me, and it's all good, right? And fishing is both recreation, it's
bonding.
Important, it's bonding, it's source of food, it's competition, it's all kinds of things. It's I got no issue with that. Somebody said, though, that the fact that we have not caught a fish is up there with Hacker not knowing how to ride a bike. This I take exception to, okay? I literally do not know another adult over the age of 18 who has never ridden a bicycle.
That's
that is able to, like physically able to, right? Never known another person to make it to adulthood never having ridden a bike. Okay?
I don't know a single person outside of that.
To the point where he would not even try. He was terrified. Like, I'll go try to catch a fish. What's the worst thing going to happen? I'll stick a hook in my thumb and I ain't going to catch a fish, right? So, okay. Already haven't caught a fish before. You know, it's not that big a deal. You know, I mean, there are two people in this room, who have not caught a fish. Hit us up on the text line if you haven't ridden a bike and you're at least 18 and you're able-bodied enough to do it, right? Physically able is the key, right? That's it, right? If you're physically able to ride a bike, you grew up in the United States of America, I don't care how poor you are. Somebody had a bike in the neighborhood that you were riding. Your big sister had a bike. Somebody had a bike, I think. And I'm not saying nobody's too poor to not have had a bike, but I think it's very rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
To make it 18 years without. That's why the expression is not, it's like catching a fish. No, it's like riding a bike, because once you learn, you never forget.
Right.
Right? I mean, I don't know the last time I've been on a dang bike, but I'm pretty darn sure I could ride one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I ride one often.
Right, you're always cruising around, tailgates and whatnot on the bike. ET's man about town on that bicycle, so I take exception to that. But that's all right, you know. I don't mind. I put it out there, man. We could be laughed at a little bit. I haven't caught a fish.
I don't mind it.
I've never gone hunting either.
That's another.
And I'm not opposed to hunting as long as you eat what you kill. I'm not PETA. All right, I'm not.
Right.
I'm just not. Right. I happen to think that animals, in part, are there for us to, appreciate and sustain ourselves from. That's part of the whole process, or they wouldn't have made them so freaking delicious, right? And good for you in many ways, right? Trust me, it's better than that underbark soup.
Tree bark, yeah.
All righty, you want to do countdown style, or you want to do 1 through 5? You want to count them backwards, 5 through 1, or like, do you have any honorable mentions, or are you just going with a straight 5 here?
I have honorable mentions because it would be.
All right, give me an honorable mention or two.
Okay, I'll give you one honorable mention. Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk.
Okay, dynamic duo for the Jags this year, right? By the way, that CBS picked Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne as the most important duo for the Jags this year, the best duo. Okay, by the way, in the division, no other quarterbacks mentioned. Obviously, a bunch of rookies in there, but like Houston is like Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary, for instance, the running back combination.
Okay.
It's got to take pressure off the rookie quarterback. So, all right, so that's one of your honorable mentions. I had these guys in the top 5, and I felt like then it dawned on me, I need this other duo in there. So I took Tyson Campbell and Darius Williams out. Because if your starting cornerback pair plays at a high level, that's pretty dang important in today's NFL. You got those guys in there?
That's they're on my list. Yeah.
Where'd they fall for you?
4.
I had them at 4, and it's weird. Like I bumped them from 4 to 6. I'm like I want 5 in there. I want to have 5 in there. All right, so give me who's your number 5 combo?
Etienne and Bigsby.
That's who I got at 5 as well.
Okay.
I bumped them down, or I left them, I guess, at 5. Right? I mean, if Bigsby comes in and does the complimentary stuff, maybe scores a half dozen touchdowns, picks up some tough first downs, is there for, I don't know, 6 to 9, 10 touches a game, potentially, right? Because no running back carries the full load. Rare is the running back that does. I mean, there are a few, but that won't be the case here. And that would allow Etienne, I think, to stay in that 220 carry range, which, I think he can do that. He can sustain that. He only had 3 20-carry games last year. I don't think they want him to have 20 carries all the time. I think 220 divided by 17 games worked out to like 12.9, call it 13 touches, or 13 carries a game. I think that's very sustainable for Travis Etienne.
Agreed.
Even with Bigsby here, right? So we're in agreement on that. Give me your number 4. I guess you did, right?
Yeah, my 4 was Tyson and Darius.
Why 4 for you for them?
Because now that I'm looking at it, I should have had but I should have swapped my 3 and my 4 around. But the corners, like, if they can dominate, they can shut stuff down like who we had in the past, Jalen and
Boye.
Like, we were dominant then.
Booyah.
Booyah.
Booyah. I went with, this is the one I added at the last minute. I went with Foye and Devin Lloyd, right? We think we pretty much know what to expect from Foye.
Yeah.
Going to tackle a bunch of ball
Lead the league in
carriers.
tackle. That's
right.
what we expect.
He's going to tackle a bunch of dudes, right? He's going to show good leadership. He's going to generally be in the right position. Smart guy, Ivy League guy. Devin Lloyd struggled last year. When you look at PFF's grades for the entire team last year, he might have had the lowest grade from PFF. And they're not gospel, but they're one measuring stick. Might have had the lowest grade of any starter on this football team. He graded out at 48.1. Let me see if anybody else. No, the next worst starter on the Jaguars, according to Pro Football Focus, was Luke Fortner at 52. And we think he's got some promise, but they're just looking at, he started every game. He was solid. He wasn't a catastrophe. It was a good start to his career, but they're trying to break it down on a play-by-play basis and all that. Whatever. Don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. I went with Foye and Lloyd. Who do you have at number 3?
Cisco and Jenkins.
Okay, tell me why.
Again, I'm just infatuated with the secondary, and Jenkins, if he can have, he had a really good season. So if he could have, if Cisco can elevate his game and Jenkins can kind of play at that same level, again, that secondary is going to be crazy.
You want to hear crazy. Rayshawn, probably the most popular selection for defensive MVP of the team last year, right? Big play guy.
Yep.
Right? And he was a guy where, just got to get through one more year of this contract and we'll free up some cap space.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Rayshawn, we were wrong, right? And you played great. PFF graded him as the second worst defensive starter on this team last year. Now, again, they're not just looking at the big plays, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think we're all pretty happy with Rayshawn's season. Give him a 53.7 grade. It's not like they're just picking a number. They're doing it based on their methodology.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was surprising to me. Caleb Chason got a 62.
So he graded higher
than Rayshawn did last year. Now, granted,
Played
he's
less.
doing it on play it right. He's on a, you think about it on a per play basis, but what was the impact of Caleb Chason last year? Come on. All right. So number 3 for me was Walker Little and Anton Harrison.
Okay.
Your tackle duo.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because I think they have a chance to play every game together. They're certainly expected to start the season as your left and right tackle combo. Pass protection, run blocking, all that. It's crucial, right? I mean, what's the most important thing in today's NFL? It's the passing game and stopping the passing game.
Yeah.
Well, your tackle combo, if they have an exceptional season, if they're one of the best duos on this team, I think the Jags will be in great shape this year. I bet we have similar for 1 and 2, but not identical, because you said you didn't use the same guy twice.
Correct. Okay.
Who's at number 2 for you?
Trayvon and Josh Allen.
Got to be, right? It's got to be. Number 1's got to involve Trevor Lawrence, right? Got to be the pass rushers. I mean, you could make a case that you know what to expect from Trevor anyway, that maybe he doesn't need to click with one guy to make them a great duo. He just needs to click with the passing game, right? This week, maybe it's Evan Ingram. Next week, it's Zay Jones. Then it's Ridley. Then it's Kirk. Who cares, right? Then the running game. Trevor will play well. He doesn't have to have the Robin to his Batman. But, man, that pass rush duo's got to come through.
It has to.
Year. Especially the way this roster is right now. Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to do it?
Literally, who else?
Who else?
Yeah.
You got Roy Robertson Harris. Roy Roberts with his 3.5. And, all right, so I'm presuming you had Trevor at 1, but you already did the Ridley Kirk, and you said you didn't use anybody twice.
Well, remember, Ridley and Kirk was honorable mention.
Oh, it was honorable mention. Okay, so who do you got at 1?
Trevor and Ridley.
Yeah, me too.
I had a feeling we were the same. Yep.
I mean, and that's at the, could it be Kirk? Sure.
Right. I just want to see Ridley. I don't know. I just want to see it.
Well, he's the guy that's had,
the new toy.
Out of all the receivers, had the best season of any of them at one point in his career. Can he, if he is that guy? Because I think, too, we got to this point, we were hopeful that Christian Kirk would be pretty good. Maybe we thought he got overpaid, but we're like, hey, you know what? It's the nature of free agency. You're going to have to pay more to get a guy to come until you establish that culture and all that. And then he lived up to the contract.
Yep.
And based on the numbers he put up and how many guys are getting paid more than him, did very well. So I think I've come to think, well, Kirk's a known commodity now with this team, right? And he should be about a 1,000-yard receiver regardless, even with Ridley coming on, because Trevor Lawrence's pie is going to grow in terms of how many yards he has to distribute. So that, to me, like, if Trevor and Kirk are the top of the depth chart, it's not a bad thing. But if Ridley can come in and establish himself as what Ridley was a few seasons ago, and Kirk maintains where he already is, now we're talking about let's step up in class here, right? So, all right, I had Etienne Bigsby, I had Foye Lloyd, I had Little Harrison, I had Allen and Walker, and I had Trevor and Ridley. Your top five again were?
Etienne and Bigsby, Cisco and Jenkins, Tyson and Williams, Trevon and Josh Allen, and Trevor and Calvin Ridley.
All right. Somebody just said on the text line, it's not called catching, it's called fishing. Like golf, getting out for the experiences is part of the fun of fishing, even if you don't catch it. See? It's all about experience in life, man. Oh, somebody said who wanted to take us fishing said we can go hunting too. Yeah. I don't know. Can you hunt with a Glock? Otherwise I might need to upgrade my arsenal.
I need to borrow something.
I might need to. I don't know if those. I'm not going to get into my home arsenal right now, and I'm not going to get into the particulars of it. But trust me, the home's protected. All right, and I don't think they allow you to go out with a handgun into the woods and do that. So anyway, there's not a bicycle seat wide enough for some people. But you know what? True, at a certain point. But you didn't start out that big. There was a bicycle seat that would have fit your scrawny 6-year-old butt at some point. I don't care how big a kid you are. There was a bicycle that could hold you because there ain't no 6-year-old bigger than me right now. And I could get on a bike, and there's a bike out there for me. So, yes, this is true as well. So, interesting. Houston, I told you, had the running back combo. For Indy, it was Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly on the offensive line. Okay. For Tennessee, it was Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry providing in the front seven on defense, providing pass rush because they can't count on any of those quarterbacks on that team. What an era to live in, E. When you can't count on an AFC South quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence and he plays in teal.
The window is now. It's here.
Bro, the window is flung wide the hell open. There's a draft in here, okay? But that draft is bringing the 32nd pick with it, all right? Because that's where we need to be focusing right now. Sky's the limit. I'm not guaranteeing you any kind of success. I'm just not going to sit here and put any kind of damper on what the Jags are capable of doing this year, given a degree of reasonably good health, right? Because that can derail any team for sure. All right, your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day asks about Travis Etienne today. Give us your prediction on rushing yards, receiving yards, total touchdowns. In other words, his basic stat line for 2023 with Emmanuel Thalleran. We know him as E.T., T from the Sharks, Coach T from the Sharks. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what's good? I hear when you're going fishing or catching, for that matter, fill up the cooler with some Dandy sandwiches, you know? Not saying I've never taken one on the golf course. They frown on those coolers, but those Dandy sandwiches, just too delicious to leave behind. Are you kidding me, man? It's not going to weigh you down, but it's going to fill you up the right way. Give you the energy to get through the rest of the day. Dandy uses the highest quality ingredients, always fresh, always delicious. So you're not going to eat something and be like, oh my gosh, how greasy, how terrible. No, you're going to love what you get from Dandy. Light items, classic sandwiches and subs. Man, they got a bunch of sandwiches out there that sound so good. How about the hot roast beef and provolone, the Italian combo, the spicy buffalo chicken, the big old juicy 100% beef cheeseburger? They got it all for you. I love their classic tuna salad. You're always going to find something for Dandy that suits your taste because Dandy has such great variety. In Duval, Dandy's a name to know. So when you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
Picture a man going on a journey beyond sight and sound.
Picture a journey with 1010XL.
You will love your new custom windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. For a limited time, get 20% off windows, patio doors, and installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Enjoy the beauty and quality that only Renewal by Andersen offers. This offer expires June 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Summertime is here and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our summer termite special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249 and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathans.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Drivers and heavy truck mechanics, if you like sports, then you're going to love working at Waste Management.
We have a team atmosphere here where we're looking out for one another. We jump in to help out.
Listen up. WM is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
It's camaraderie. It's everything. I like it.
Steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous boot and tool allowance.
Plus, over-the-top benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and home every day.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics. Apply online at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people first, military friendly, equal opportunity employer.
We are WM.
Business owners know Andy's Automotive and Truck Services for routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs. Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize downtime and keep your fleet on the road. Visit andysats.com.
How many points are there on the Statue of Liberty? The answer coming up.
If you haven't stayed on top of your coverage responsibilities for your family's home, you really should review it annually. Renew with confidence or call us and let Southern Oak answer your questions. We'll save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 7 points on the crown of the Statue of Liberty, referencing all 7 continents.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I'm Sam Nelson with your 1010XL local sports update. Jacksonville Jaguar edge rusher Josh Allen skipped voluntary workouts because he wanted to prioritize himself. The veteran outside linebacker made his offseason debut at Jacksonville's 3-day mandatory minicamp on Monday. Jaguar President Mark Lamping is feeling positive as the team is hosting various meetings to hear from fans.
Functioning exactly as we intended.
Stadium of the Future Town Hall huddles will meet next today from 11:30 to 1 p.m. in Arlington at Grounds of Grace, and this afternoon from 5 to 6:30 630 on the north side at Batham and Brooks Branch Library. University of Florida football continues to get good news from the recruiting trail as elite linebacker, edge rusher Jamonda Waller pledges to Florida to strengthen the Gator defense. Miami Marlins Luis Reyes went 5 for 5 again to raise his batting average to 400. At your 1010 XL local sports update, sponsored by Southern Oak Insurance, I'm Sam Nelson for 1010 XL and 92.5 FM.
Christian, we talked to 100 married men, fill in the blank. If you compare your bottom to your wife's, yours is blanker.
Harrier.
Harrier. Najee, we talked to 100 married men, fill in the blank.
Now more Jaguars today on 1010 XL.
All right. Good effort, E. I got talking because I couldn't quite hear or didn't understand the full question there from Steve Harvey on Family Feud. I saw this on the text line. It wasn't addressed to us. Somebody said, hey, did you catch Christian Kirk on an edition of Celebrity Family Feud last week? And I guess they had NFL players playing against their moms.
Yeah, Najee Harris, Christian Kirk, our very own Christian Kirk, Stephon Diggs, and a couple other guys.
Hold on. Back that up. Let's start that list over. Who's number one on that list?
Our very own
Jacksonville
Christian
Jaguar,
Kirk.
Christian Kirk, of
Jacksonville
course.
Jaguars wide receiver, Christian
Then the other
Kirk.
guys.
And then the other guys, Najee Harris, Stephon Diggs, and some other bums. But
Some other.
yeah.
We don't even care who the other bums were at that point, right? We surveyed 100 moms. Oh, man, this is fixed. That'd be a little embarrassing to lose to your mom. But
What?
Family Feud is kind of the game where, you could.
Yeah. And and it wouldn't be staged. You could probably lose to your mom.
You ever see, you don't watch Saturday Night Live much, right?
Nah.
Keenan Thompson does Steve Harvey. It's really good.
That's a good Steve Harvey?
I think he does. Steve Harvey's, you watch Family Feud, and if you watch it, for Steve Harvey's reactions.
Absolutely.
When somebody says the dumb thing.
He's great at that.
That is kind of right. That's his stock and trade, and, I do enjoy that out of him. But I didn't realize, I guess I'm not a habitual Family Feud watcher enough to know that Christian Kirk was on there last week. So, hey, we appreciate the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures for keeping us updated on everything. James said his duo is offense and defense.
It's a good duo.
What needs to combine. It is a good duo. Then he responded with Trevor and Calvin, which I think
also a good duo.
That would win the thing hands down, right? I do like, mention the offensive tackles, and I hope it is Walker Little and Anton Harrison. I hope next year at this time we're like, man, we're just so excited. Did Walker Little get a contract extension? Is this the tackle combo we're going to have for the next 5 years, at least here in Jacksonville? Because it's not going to be Cam for the long term. It doesn't appear based on the way the contract is structured. I noticed this a few days ago, and D-Rock did the write-up, Mike DiRocco over at ESPN, great member of the Jaguars Today family, of course. And they're talking about how each of the first-round rookies has fared throughout the offseason process to this point. By the way, imagine if you're one of those teams that, like the Rams, who doesn't have a first-round pick this year, right? You just get left out of all the conversation and all these kind of recap articles, focus. Sometimes they throw them in at the end. They'll say, well, and the first pick for these teams was whatever. But here's what D-Rock said about how Anton Harrison has fared through his eyes. And keep in mind, you're not seeing full-on 11-on-11. You're not seeing goal line live, right? And the media here in Jacksonville was allowed to go to 1 day of each of 3 weeks of OTAs, and then a 3-day minicamp where a lot of players weren't there. Now, Anton Harrison was, and he went up against Josh Allen a little bit. But here's what D-Rock said about Harrison. The Jags have put Harrison at right tackle. The expectation is he'll be the opening day starter if left tackle Cam Robinson is suspended for violating the PED policy, which we still have not gotten league confirmation on. And although no reason to believe that won't be the case at this point in time. And D-Rock continues, Walker Little moves from right tackle to left, which is what's expected. Harrison got some solid reps against outside linebacker Josh Allen in minicamp and more than held his own, but the bigger test will come when the pads come on in camp. Said Allen about Harrison, he just stands out, quick, good feet. That's one thing you want to look into is how good his feet are. And he's real good with the feet at this point. So I think once he gets comfortable in the scheme and gets comfortable working with all four of the other guys up front, I think he'll be a heck of a player. Well, let's hope that's absolutely the case for Anton Harrison. By the way, Josh Allen, I think he's a good player, right? And I think that gets lost to some degree with my own fixation. I'll blame it on myself, but I'm not the only one. We have a fixation on sacks. We look at Calais Campbell and we're like, oh, yeah, he did have 3 forced fumbles in 2017. He had 14 and a half sacks, though, That's what we're looking at. Foye, and he had a bunch of tackles. He had 180 whatever tackles. He's tackling machine. That's great. How many sacks did Trayvon Walker have? That's what we want to know. So Josh Allen, though, you talk about Pro Football Focus and how they viewed him. And, again, they're grading him in a lot of different areas. They're grading him run defense, pass rush, what have you. How many quarterback pressures, different things. Allen got the highest grade from Pro Football Focus of any player on the Jaguars, any starter on the team. Now, granted, you got to take starter with a grain of salt because we went over, they had their projected starting lineup that every time they do an article where they are looking ahead and they're going to include that. We talked about this a few weeks ago, They got Caleb Von Chase on. They have 3 edge rushers listed as starters, basically, and they don't have Foley Fatukasi in there. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They list Etienne and Hasty as starters, but I get that if you think Hasty is the, quote, third down back, right? Much like you have Trey Herndon listed as a starter because he's nickel back. Doesn't mean he's going to start every game, but in that role, he's going to be the guy.
Right.
The fullback role, somebody brought up on the text line, I would hope that if your list goes to 10, that you would have Derek Parrish and Travis Etienne. I would not. What are the odds Derek Parrish makes the team? Yeah, he's the leading contender to play fullback if they have a fullback. And they did draft him, but again, we were like, how are 9 rookies going to make this team? And then they ended up with 13 picks, most ever. 7th round rookie, man. Derek Parrish would be doing well to earn a spot on the practice squad. But if he does play fullback, how often are they going to line up with a fullback? Who are you going to take off the field, You taking Zay Jones, I guess, right?
Maybe.
You'd go Ridley, Kirk, Ingram are going to be on the field in every set but your heaviest sets, when your goal line when you got that one wide receiver out there that everyone knows is just window dressing because nobody's throwing the ball, whatever.
Right.
But, and let's say Parrish does make the team and he's used as a fullback. There's a greater than 0% chance that the majority of the short yardage carries go to Tank Bigsby. So maybe it's the Parrish-Bigsby combo that would be, I'm not saying, I don't know if he'll make the team or not. I have no idea what the internal discussions are about Derek Parrish. But if I had to bet right now, I'd say no. I get it. They drafted this guy, but how many teams use a fullback? And you can say, well, they drafted him. But because so few teams use a fullback nowadays, throw him on the practice squad. Who's going to sign him off the practice squad?
Yeah.
And put him on the active roster for a minimum of X number of games, which is what you have to do when you sign another guy's practice squad player. So I'd be surprised. Not saying it's impossible. Just would not expect fullback. And that's the thing, too, with Etienne. I know this. When we do our projections at the end of the hour, right, I think he's going to score more touchdowns than last year. But I don't think he's going to be the primary goal line ball carrier. But 5 is such a low total for a guy who had, 35 catches, so he had 255 touches last year. I think he'll probably have a couple more breakaways.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right? And maybe he gets a few more opportunities. Like early in the season, he wasn't getting the carries, period. Right? Because you had James Robinson here. So, well, maybe you lose some of those. You won't have those 22, 25 carry games, which he had only 3 of anyway. Well, maybe he maxes out around 18 or 19. But those single-digit carry games, maybe they're bumped up to 14. And I think in the end, he gets close to the same amount of touches this year. Will he still average 5.1 yards a carry? Well, you can make an argument that if he's not taking the goal line stuff and he gets 220, he's going to have a higher yards per carry average, right? Because if you're at the 1 yard line, your yards per carry average is coming down, even if you score. It's just the way it is, So I think, again, we talk about that with Fred T. 4.6 is kind of like that shining number, what he averaged in his career. But, you look at the good and the bad. He didn't have the touchdowns that a lot of guys of his stature scored because Tom Coughlin liked to utilize other guys at the goal line, a la Stacey Mack. But that also helped keep Fred's yards per carry a little bit higher than it might have otherwise been. I bet Freddie T would have given up 0.2 of a yard to get another 20 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man. Fred's so funny, too. You want to get on Fred's good side, bring up how Stacey Mack never should have seen the field when Fred was healthy. And, look, that's nothing personal against Stacey Mack, right? He had a role. He did his thing. But and I get it. Freddie T had a style that was, very a lot of jump cutting, but
little finesse.
You get him at the one, man.
He could do that too, though.
He certainly could, right? And I think Coughlin just wanted that bold, plow straight ahead guy, and those guys take big hits. We've all watched a lot of football, but you've played football. Did you in high school? Did you guys do live goal line?
We did.
Was that? And you're a tailback, right? So, what was that like?
Intense. It was intense.
How many reps might you get in a live goal line period in a practice?
that period was probably like 10 minutes.
Okay, so what would you get? Maybe like 6 carries, something like that?
At least,
against live defense, 6 to 10, somewhere in there?
Mm-hmm.
In a game, how many times are you running into that stacked box? Right? Probably not that many.
Exactly.
Right? So, and we've all been out there, and that's high school. But relative to the skill level of the guys you're playing with, that's as violent as it gets.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, go to a Jaguar practice this fall, go to training camp. Live goal line may be the most anticipated thing that they do. It's fun when Trevor throws a 50-yard spiral and Zay Jones burns 2 corners, right? Not great for the corners, but you get the idea. Like, we're going to score 50 a game. But, man, if you want to see some intense physicality, it's like 11-on-11 Oklahoma drills.
That's exactly what it is.
Right? Or it's more like probably like 9-on-9.
Right, because the guys on the outside.
Right, because there's a receiver out there and your quarterback's not getting popped, but it's as close as you get to the carnage. And so I get it, having that designated guy. They did that with Barry Sanders at times, with Tommy Vardell. Remember Touchdown Tommy?
Yeah.
Went to Stanford and basically utilized him like that at Stanford. He was a goal line specialist, and they brought him in, and Barry was a dancer. There's no question about it. I wonder how many times Barry and Fred come, and I'm not saying Fred Taylor was Barry Sanders, right? But there's some similarity in their style, in the ability to make people miss in the backfield, that jump cut quickness. Fred had a lot more run you over than Barry Sanders ever did.
Absolutely.
But Barry had more wiggle than almost anybody who's ever played the position, right? I mean, just silly, stop on a dime, making guys grasp for air. But I wonder, as a percentage of how many times they carried the ball, they got tackled for a loss. You know what I mean? I don't know if Pro Football Reference has that. I'll look it up on the break. But I would think for Barry it would be definitely higher because you've seen Barry Sanders go -1, -3, 80.
All the time.
80. It's just, you have to live with some of those loss of yardage because you can't tell Barry Sanders and Fred Taylor don't try to make the big play, right? I get it at the goal line, the big play is a 1-yard run, but I wonder, I would bet their percentage would be a little higher than normal, but that's probably the case for all the guys who are looking to shake people and go the distance, So anyway, we'll take a look at that, but going back to the Pro Football Focus starting lineups for the Jags. Just today, they put out basically a grading of every team in terms of the roster. We think the Jags are going to be the heavy favorites in the AFC South, should be. You could argue they should be stronger favorites in the AFC South than the Chiefs should be in the West, right? If you think there's a contender that could push Kansas City, that's just saying you think the level of competition for the other teams is higher. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to be the case, but you can make that argument based on how bad, if Sports Illustrated's right and the second-place team in the division wins 5 games this year, Jags are going to cruise to a division title. They're not going to be the second-place team in that scenario. And but how good overall, because that's what really matters in the end. You should win the division this year. Anything short of a division title, even if you make a wild card,
fail.
It's going to be a disappointment.
Disappointment,
right?
yeah.
Not setting yourself up for home playoff opportunities. Maybe multiple ones depending on where your seeding falls. But in the end, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, whomever, Miami, Cleveland, whoever you want to put in that conversation, it's how you match up with them ultimately that determines, because it's great. You won the division. You cruised. You know, the great thing about the Patriots, they had that formula. The AFC East stunk many years in Tom Brady's career, but they were able to finish it off 6 times, right? So can you be a team that finishes it off or just takes advantage of a down division? So we'll tell you where Pro Football Focus puts the Jags' overall talent base when we return here in a moment. Taking your predictions on Travis Etienne's production this year. Give me rushing yards, receiving yards, and total touchdowns. Hit us up on Twitter with your replies to that, and we'll take a look. That's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, and we'll take a look at that at the final few minutes of the hour. Coming up. With ET, I'm Mike Dempsey. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Boating is in your blood. You live for your time on the water and can't wait for your next adventure. At Batteries Plus, we have solutions to help power what moves you. Whether it's a deep cycle battery for your trolling motor or an onboard charger to make the day last a little longer, you'll find it at Batteries Plus. Shop boating essentials at your nearest Batteries Plus or visit us online at batteriesplus.com.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air we always play fair. We make the difference 'cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
That smells good. What is that? Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose.
And that is tasting good. It's Pro Bowl offensive lineman Leon Searcy or XL Primetime.
Weekdays from noon till 1:30 on 1010XL.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210, proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
Love cornhole? Yeah! Then now's the time to order your custom set of quality boards from Mystic Cornhole Company, built right here in Jax. They even carry several lines of pro bags. Visit the shop today and score at Mystic Cornhole Company.
Chad and Sandy Newman have a promise for you at chadandsandy.com. Your home is going to be sold guaranteed, or guess what, gang? They will buy it. Right now, it is prime home selling season. Home buyers are actively looking. Mortgage rates are stabilizing. It's the ideal time to get your home sold for maximum dollar. So any problems you think you may have, whether you want maximum equity for your home but not sure how, or maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades, don't worry about all those, because chadandsandy.com have a promise for you. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Denny and Patty in Waterfront Mandarin said, another agent failed to sell our luxury waterfront home. We were tired of waiting, so we had moved out. It was costing us a fortune. We decided to put Chad and Sandy's guarantee to the test, and they did it. Our home sold in 12 days for $56,000 higher than the previous agents even suggested. Call Chad and Sandy, or better yet, go to chadandsandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Saturday, June 24th, the UFC returns to Jacksonville. The heavy-handed Josh Emmett looks to turn back undefeated phenom Ilia Topuria. Plus, dangerous Brazilian Amanda Ribas takes on the future Macy Barber. Don't miss UFC Fight Night, Emmett versus Topuria, live from VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Cataracts can take a toll on the quality of a loved one's life. Maybe it's even your parents or someone close to you. Hey, Hicken here. I've been talking to you about Bowden Eye. And it turns out renowned cataract care is right here at Bowden Eye & Associates. Their doctors help those with cataracts feel hopeful, sometimes for the first time in a long time. If someone you love is suffering from cataracts, schedule a visit for a personal consultation. 3 locations to serve you, including the new office on County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We pretend to entertain.
They are the morning team known as The Drill.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry, is that funny? Are you stand-up comic?
Right here on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
High snap, he handles it to give to Etienne. Toward the goal line. Touchdown! A 1-yard touchdown run. The signal was given touchdown. Now the Raiders are saying he's not in there, but the line judge on the far side said touchdown.
Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
E.T., quick, tell me, without looking, how many touchdowns did Etienne score last year?
5.
He did score. Yes, 5 on the ground, no receiving touchdowns. I think that number will rise. I think he's almost bound to catch a touchdown or two along the way, you know. Of course, catch it down near the goal line would probably have changed that.
True.
He had an opportunity or two, but regardless, we'll get into his projections coming up. I'll tell you where the Jags rank, E. Then I would like you to tell me which teams are ranked ahead of them, okay, in terms of having a better roster according to Pro Football Focus. You're going to hear this number, and you're going to go, oh, that's too low, right? They have the Jags 15th. And they're going mathematically on their own grades, right? And in the case of a guy like Anton Harrison, they're looking at what his collegiate grade was and trying to project and things like that. So I heard you and Dan and Jeff talk about this morning with Tony Baselli. If you have a great quarterback, how good does your roster need to be? It needs to be good. I mean, Patrick Mahomes couldn't go to Arizona and win the Super Bowl this year. He'd make them better, right?
Right.
Trevor Lawrence would make a lot of teams better, made the Jaguars better. But do they have – now, I think they've got great skill players, potentially great. I think their offensive line can at least not be a hindrance this year, you know, with a chance to be a strength, potentially, but that's still to be proven out, right? Pass rush, big question. How good are the corners beyond Tyson Campbell? Fair question. And then, you know, they go hand in hand. Should, on paper, be able to stop the run. Had a lot of the same guys on paper last year, you know, so we'll see. So I don't think 15 is terrible. Let me just go through the particulars on the Jags, what they say, and then we'll see how many of these 14 teams you accurately predict that they think have a better roster. All right, biggest strength for the team this year. What's the area of the team that's the biggest strength, E?
I have to say the passing game.
Passing game. Yeah. That's exactly right. There's no trick answer here. Mm-hmm. It's passing game. Trevor Lawrence took a huge step forward last year. Blah, 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 blah. Better weapons. Sky is the limit for this offense. That's their words, right? Not going to disagree. We all feel offense. If the offense isn't hanging 30 on people regularly, we're going to be disappointed, right? At least we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed. Biggest weakness?
Pass rush.
That's what I would think. They say offensive line.
Oh, no way.
Well, they graded Juwan Taylor as the best offensive lineman.
And we lost him.
They lost him. They list Cam Robinson as the starter. In their system, he had the highest grade of any of the veterans at 67, but Barch got a 60.5 projected starter. Granted, didn't play a lot. Fortner got a 52, was the worst starter on the team, according to Pro Football Focus. Sheriff got a 60.6, which it's all right. Not exactly bowling you over. And Anton Harrison scored 72.6, his collegiate score. That's their take on it. Who's the X Factor player for this team?
X Factor player, Josh Allen.
That's a good one. They went with Trayvon Walker.
Okay.
You're thinking along the same lines. I think Trayvon to me is, I think I would agree with him, a little bit more of an X Factor. Like, I expect a certain level from Josh Allen, even if it's not a high sack total.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface with Trayvon. But it comes from those edge rushers.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there. Rookie to watch.
Anton, our first.
Of course. Right. Again, no trick answers here. Anton Harrison, he's projected to be a starter on the offensive line, at least for now. Do they take the over or the under on the Jaguars' win total of 9.5?
Man, they better take that over.
Damn right they better take the over, or I wouldn't even be talking about it anymore. Of course they take the over.
No tricks
right there.
here.
Now, but the over-under on the win total has a lot to do with your opponents as well. And we've talked about that a lot today already, as just how potentially weak the rest of the AFC South is. And, you know, teams surprise all the time, by the way. But when you talk about rosters, PFF grades the Titans as the 25th best in the league. They took the over, by the way, on 7.5 wins with Tennessee. That's their projected total.
Ooh.
SI took the under. SI gave them 5.
Shout out SI.
I love SI. Shipley, what are you up to, buddy? The Colts come in at 29. They took the under on 6.5. And the Texans come in at 30, and they took the under on 5.5. So, yeah, like our chances. All righty. 14 teams that have a better roster, according to PFF, than the Jacksonville Jaguars. You get 3 strikes, and you're out. Give me one.
All right, I'm going to go first one, Buffalo.
Buffalo. Let me see where they come in, because they're all spread out. Number 5 overall total roster, according to them.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and go with Kansas City.
Kansas City's at 4. Great quarterback.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go with San Fran.
San Fran's at 2.
Philly.
Philly's at 1.
Okay.
Okay, so you got 4 of the top 5.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, you got the top 5 now.
Okay.
Got top 5 rosters, according to Pro Football Focus. Who else?
All right, let me see. I'm thinking here. I'm not going to say them. I'll say
Didn't answer.
I'm going to say Dallas.
Dallas is 6.
Okay.
It's good. Took you a minute, but you got there.
Not them. I'll say not San Diego, but LA Chargers.
LA Chargers are 8 or 9. I'm sorry, 9.
All right. Let's see. Seattle.
Seattle's 11.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like where I'm going.
You're good so far.
No. Are they going to say the Jets?
The Jets are 7.
Okay.
Okay. For them.
So
they have a good defense.
Yeah,
the Jets do.
They do. I'm not going to say.
By the way, Sauce Gardner's grade last year, 87.9. You know, for people like, he only had 2 interceptions, whatever.
Sauce is good.
Sauce was the sauce.
Miami.
Miami is 10, I believe. Yep.
Okay.
You got 1 more in the top 10. Plus 3 more. 2 more.
Baltimore.
Baltimore is number 8. So you got the whole top 10.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, they're 8. Keeping in mind, Jags coming in at 15. You got 11 is Seattle. So I need 12, 13, and 14.
All right.
No strikes so far.
No strikes. No, not them. No, not them.
You're trying to run the table. I know.
Yeah, I am.
How about this for a helper? A little hint: 2 in the AFC, 1 in the NFC, among what's left.
Are they going to? I know they're going to say it. Denver?
Not Denver.
Okay. Oh.
First strike.
All
First
right.
strike. Still 2 in the AFC.
Okay.
See where Denver is on here. Denver. Where you at?
What am I missing?
I mentioned Denver. Oh, 20 for Denver.
Oh, wow. Okay, my bad. I tried my Jaguars.
Need a team. Gotta have a team.
I'm drawing a bunch.
You already got one strike.
No, not them. I need a hand, man.
The 2 AFC teams are in the same division.
Same division in the AFC.
In fact, their entire division is ranked ahead of the Jags in terms of the talent on the roster. Already named 2 of them.
Oh, so I said the Chiefs. I said the Chargers.
Yeah, but Denver's not in there.
Oh, okay, fair. What am I missing?
I'll give it to you.
Cleveland. Not the Steelers.
Yes, the Steelers.
Steelers?
Yes, the whole division.
They're better than us?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Total roster. Again, this is not just about the quarterback position here. All right, they've got Pittsburgh is at 12. Cleveland's at 14.
Mm-hmm.
The one NFC team is Detroit. Everyone's on Detroit.
I guess I'm just looking at the quarterbacks.
Right. Detroit did whip that Jaguar tail.
They did.
Last year. You got to admit. I mean, they did. And, Jared Goff played well last year. Get Jameson Williams. Well, you get him after his suspension. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll go around the league quickly with a couple of headlines, and we'll take a look at today's question of the day with Travis Etienne's projection for the year. So PFF has the Jags as the 15th best roster. Nothing PFF says is going to matter once they kick it off. We get that. But, how much of your personal projection is you just think the Jags will dominate the South divisions this year, and how toe-to-toe do you feel they can stand with the likes of Kansas City, even the Chargers, Cincinnati, Buffalo, all these teams in the AFC ranked ahead? Get those home games. Let's even the playing field a little bit. We'll come back with the final segment of Jaguars Today next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.
Here's Linda Beaver.
We know that you have options when it comes to buying or servicing your vehicle. We also know that not all experiences are created equal. We promise when you choose to do business with Beaver, you will always get thoughtfulness about your time and hard-earned money, a team member motivated by desire to help you, and in lifelong relationships with a team that cares. Pair all that with a huge selection of inventory. You can't go wrong with Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We promise we're here to wow you.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial, we're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Play on the edge. Stand on the edge. The Amateur's Edge. Get the Amateur's Edge. Powered by B3 Better. To learn the hidden path of top pros, amateurs, and coaches. Saturday mornings at 11 on 1010XL.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
8 Sparky. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Summer is here, so while you're at the beach or on your bike, head on down to Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, where you'll find the absolute freshest seafood in all of the 904. The biggest shrimp, the saltiest oysters, the freshest fish, all here at our newly renovated restaurant in Neptune Beach. Fresh seafood delivered daily by Safe Harbor, straight from the boat to your plate. Unique oyster specials daily, along with mixed cocktails from the bar. Come enjoy this beach vibe. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, locally owned by Safe Harbor Seafood.
What percentage of adults are true redheads?
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Only 2% of the world's population naturally have red hair, making it the rarest hair color. Scotland and Ireland have the highest percentages.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You down with JAG? Yeah, you know me. You down with JAG? Yeah, you know me. You down with JAG? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with JAG?
The Bold City. 1010XL, proud flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
They run the ball with Etienne, tries to get the corner. He does! 35, 30, 25. He is going to get wrestled to the ground at the 15-yard line. What a play call. It looked like the old T formation, and they handed it to Etienne. He got it to the 16-yard line.
Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
How many times will Travis Etienne hit pay dirt? That's part of today's question of the day. Today, what do you project for him rushing, receiving, and total touchdowns? We'll get to that coming up. Travis, you got me covered there? There was no avoiding that one, Ian.
I got you.
The sneeze was coming on.
I got you.
There's no sneeze button in here.
You were able to wave me
I gave
down.
you like the high sign. You all saw it on YouTube on the 1010XL channel.
But they didn't hear it.
They didn't hear it because ET hit that mic for me. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I bring this up all the time in these kind of situations for years at the other station. David Lamb, Joe Cowart doing the morning show. We literally had a red cough button that would mute the mics sitting right in front of where the lead host would sit. So literally within pudgy-fingered reach of David Lamb was a red button. And he would go, He'd turn his head like 6 inches and clear his throat because he thought, I'm turning my head over here. You can't hear that, can you? Like, dude, there's a red button that's screaming at you to push it.
Which takes less effort to turn your head.
Right, just slap the button. And as soon as you release it, your mic's back on. Anyway, it's not even a chapter in the book, okay? It's not even a chapter. All right, E, why don't we take a quick perusal around what's going on around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
We talked about earlier today, how long will Travis Etienne be with this club? We're not trying to rush him off, right? He's only going into his 3rd year, but 4-year rookie deal, 5th-year option because he was a first-round pick. Will Travis Etienne be a Jag beyond that? I mean, look at some of the big-time producing running backs that are scrambling to play on more than the franchise tag. Not saying any of us here in the audience wouldn't take the money that comes with the franchise tag, but Dalvin Cook out there right now. And, he's throwing it out there, hey, I want to win. Of course, I want the money, but my agent will take care of that. And I want to be a 3-down back. And I want to chase the Lombardi trophy. So how many Super Bowl contenders have the cap space to pay you like you want to be paid and have the ability to just hand you a 3-down role? I mean, you could argue there might be some. Ironically, where his brother James plays up in Buffalo might be one of the best ones. But I digress. Dalvin Cook making the news yesterday because he is now interested in teaming up with DeAndre Hopkins, thinks that would be epic. Look, Dalvin Cook, in the end, it's going to be interesting to see who the suitors are. But I have a feeling he's going to take the most money that's on the table. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that the rest of us wouldn't. He's going to take that money, and then he's going to try to convince us all that he thinks that they have the best chance to win. Right? Now, granted, maybe he'll be right. Like Calais Campbell said, hey, I think the Jags have a better chance to win. They're closer when he signed, and people in Denver were like, are you nuts? He wasn't nuts. He was right at that time. Speaking of running backs, J.K. Dobbins frustrated with his contract situation. Look, J.K. Dobbins, man, if you're going to be frustrated and vent about it, why don't you try playing a full season healthy?
Right.
First? Come on, man. I mean, the guy's had a torn ACL. He's barely able to stay on the field. Very talented guy.
Talented. Yeah.
They say Todd Monken's really working on getting the running backs involved in the passing game as part of the new offense that he's bringing to Baltimore. So that's a fantasy football tip for you there as you see Dobbins on the board in the 4th or maybe even the 5th round if you're lucky this year. That's been the case. So anyway, he's frustrated. Who's not frustrated? Stephon Diggs is frustrated with the Bills, and they say it stems from not only his role in the offense, but his voice in play calling.
That's just crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy to me.
The expression the inmates are running the asylum now is like, Stephon Diggs, you're a really good player. I'm not saying you should have no input in, what kind of routes you like to run. I mean, you're an accomplished guy. You're the most important weapon in Josh Allen's arsenal. Not disputing any of that. Play calling? Man, come on. Like Jimmy Smith was a 5-time Pro Bowler, E. Were we going to, other than Jay Smoot who look over at Purnell and his eyes would get big when he had one-on-one, that's not play calling, right? That's like in-game recognition of what's happening out here. Stephon Diggs. Come on, man.
What are you going to call it? Help call the defense too?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe he's going to add assistant head coach, and maybe that's a way around the salary cap for him. He can get a little extra money. He can get a coaching stipend on top. So that's about it. Not much going on around the National Football League today. So let's get to our predictions for Travis Etienne. I will say this. People on the Twitter responses today, I think, more bullish in general than I am. Not all of them, but as a general rule. Some of the bigger ones I'm looking at. 1,341 rushing, 447 receiving. So that's basically 1,800 total yards, 14 touchdowns from Michael. Okay? Last year, 1,405. Okay? Cristiano, this is more in line with what I'm thinking, but I'm a little bit more aggressive than this. He's got 950, 207 total touchdowns. My guess is he thinks that going to be more reliant on the passing game and a big role for Tank Bigsby, or a more sizable role than for any other running back that we had. Just looking at the touchdown totals here, E. 11, 9, 8, 10, 17, 15, 11 plus, 11, 13, 11, 15, 10, 15, 10, 17. These are all different people. 10, 10, 13. Wow. And thank you, High Tide. We love that you love the show. Thank you very much. High Tide, by the way, had some of the high water marks. 1408 on the ground, 528 receiving for nearly 2,000 yards with 13 total touchdowns. What did you come up with for Travis Etienne this year?
I'm going with 1,300 yards total, so just over 1,000 on the ground, 300 receiving.
Okay.
I'm gonna do 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
So 1,300.
About 1,300 and 8.
Yeah, 1,300.
You and I are almost identical. Here's how I came up with it. I looked at the 220, and I'm like, is he going to get 220 carries again? I think he will, right? Yes, Bigsby's going to be here. He'll play a bigger role carrying the ball than JaMychal Hasty did, but Travis Etienne will also have a full season. This is, again, figuring he plays 17 games, right? Those first 4 games last year, single-digit carries in 3 of them. He had, down the stretch when the Jags had things fairly wrapped up late, didn't have many carries down the stretch at all for this team. So I think 220, that's 13 a game, basically, for 17 games, is fair. And he had 5.1 yards a carry last year. You could argue it's not going to go down because, especially if they take away goal line carries, but I knocked him a tick down to 4.8. Very good mark. Right, and I just saw, I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll have a few more breakaways, but, look, maybe maybe he does 5.3, and then I'm going to be crazy low. I mean, he did 5.1 last year, and it didn't seem like, it wasn't like when you watch him, like, there are occasions where you're like, wow, pretty damn good, but it wasn't like, damn, we're watching second coming to Fred Taylor. At least to me, it wasn't. So I put him at 1056 on the ground, just going 220 times 4.8. He had 35 catches last year. Some think that role will grow. Again, crowded backfield, man. Hasty just came in August last year. He'll have the full off season. He's integrated. I think he's got a role there. I think Bigsby, from everybody we talked to last week, we had on, Hayes, D-Rock, had on Big Meech, had on Shipley. They all raved about what they saw from Tank Bigsby, including as a pass catcher. So I just knocked him down to 30 catches, right? And some will say he's going to catch 50 plus. I think he has the ability to, but got to understand, Calvin Ridley's going to get more targets than Marvin Jones did, for sure. Now, more first downs leads to more opportunities, more passing attempts, more offense for everybody. So that is possible as well. So I left him at 9 yards a catch. I don't know how what kind of slide rule you need to try to figure out what a running back's yards per catch average is going to be. He had 9 last year. I left him at 9. That gives him 270 on the ground. So what did that come out to? I think 1326. So we're pretty close on the numbers there. And I had 8 touchdowns as well. Even if you're not the goal line guy. It's not like he scored a bunch of them right at the goal line. Right? I mean, Trev's going to steal a few. Bigsby will steal a few. But maybe Etienne houses a couple more.
That's what I feel like.
Right?
Yep.
Even if it's not from 60, 20, 25 yarders.
He could take a screen 30 yards.
He can absolutely do all that. So I put him at 8, and we don't compare notes on these until the very end. So we ended up sharing a brain cell on that one to be sure. But look, in the end, a lot of bullish projections. I think vast majority of those people making those projections are not going to give a damn if the team's success is where we think it can get to, right? At least a somewhat deep playoff run. Like, you make it to the AFC Championship game and you lose, you're going to be disappointed in the aftermath. If you said right now the Jags are going to take that next step, get a game deeper, and get to the AFC title game with a still ascending quarterback, it's a missed opportunity because they are in a window. Now, the window's open, but I don't think that's the worst outcome in the world to make the NFL's Final Four. So anyway, appreciate you all playing along with that one today. We'll welcome in XL Primetime, see what Matt Hayes thinks about the role for Travis Etienne coming up right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet, keeping 1010XL on track with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
Matthew, how are you?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, man. Today, I got on this because CBS did a thing about most important or best duo for every team going into this year. And they picked Lawrence and Etienne as the most important duo. Etienne and I did our list, and we didn't think that was the case, but whatever. And the last thing they wrote was both of these guys figure to be stars for this team for a long time. I don't know if that's the case at running back anymore, right? Like, you get maybe 3 more years. You get the 2 years, 5th-year option. That might be it, right? You turn it over. Trevor's
I don't know that any team's going to give a second contract to a running back.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Barkley has got to play on the franchise tag, it looks like right now. Dalvin Cook's out of a job. Joe Mixon might get squeezed. So anyway, what do you think about Etienne's role this year? Like, does it grow because the offense grows? And keep in mind, of course, James Robinson opened the season as a starter, but you also got Bigsby, you got Dearness Johnson, you got Hasty, who's been in the system now for a year. So compared to last year, what do Etienne's numbers look like to you?
I think they're reduced. I mean, there's a reason they signed Dearness Johnson. There's a reason used a 3rd-round pick on Tank Bigsby. I don't think it's because they don't think he's good enough. I think it's because they're trying to prevent him from all the wear and tear on his body.
But do you he had 220 carries last year, okay? He only had 3 games where he went over 20.
Right.
And at the beginning of the season, he had 3 under 10 in the first 4. I think he could still get to 220. It's just going to be a little bit more evenly distributed. You know what I mean? Like, he won't have those 25 carry games, but that's only 12.9, 13 carries a game.
But he runs hard.
He does.
Man. I mean,
he does
not avoid hits.
No, I hear you.
He runs hard.
He's going to lose some goal line opportunities, you would think.
Yeah.
But, second year in the league, maybe he has a few more where he figures it out and has that breakaway play as well. So
I'd like him to figure out to get down or not take, not run.
I don't know
like
if you can you
oncoming linebackers.
Can you coach that into a guy though when that's his natural instinct?
I'll tell you what, man. Bro
plays like he's 240.
He runs as hard as just about anyone in the league.
Yeah, he does take some shots. Hey, look, again, bottom line, if the Jags win, man, I don't care. I don't care if Trevor throws 18 touchdowns. If the Jags go deep in the playoffs, right? And if Travis Etienne wants to go out and score 25 and Big C score another 10, so be it. As long as we're winning games, man. But you see, the Sports Illustrated had a projection. They're doing one team every day, and they did Tennessee today. They predicted him to go 5-12 and be second in the South. With 5, Matt. Half dozen gets you a home playoff game. That's crazy,
so
man.
That's 6 wins right there.
I mean, you got to take the Jags' setup right now for this year is so spectacular. If they have good health, you know what I mean? I mean the division, the schedule, it's all right there for you. Your biggest opponents are playing at home, or in the case of Buffalo, neutral site. So,
if they stay healthy and you don't have that typical NFL game where something happens, I mean, you could go 10-0 in those 10 games. You could.
You could.
You conceivably could. Against the
South.
South.
My guess is they won't.
Right. I agree.
But you're absolutely right.
My guess it's 7-3 or 8-2. But yeah,
8-2ish. Yeah. I mean, like anything under 7 would probably be a disappointment.
Agree.
Honestly. Yeah. All right. What are you guys getting into today?
We're going to talk about the Jags, of course, and some college football. We're going to get a little bit of the Jags and London, how it's certainly going to be a negotiating point, and it's probably the city's biggest stick as far as trying to get what they want.
In terms of bring those games back from London.
Yes, we are not playing in London, but we'll give you X. We'll give you what you want here.
That stick can hit both ways.
Yes, it can.
Yes,
it can.
That's
what negotiations are for,
right,
man.
Exactly. We could play 8 or 9 a year over there too, and print money. So, look, let's just get it done, bro. All this talk about where they play, as long as they're playing somewhere else, that means it got done. I don't care. I'll drive to Tallahassee if I have to. I don't want to. I'll drive to somewhere up in Georgia if I have to.
My guess is if the city's spending $1 billion, I don't think they're going to care where it's played for 2 years. I think the bigger deal is going to be London. I really think if there's
which could work
$1 billion,
local fans benefit.
Yes,
big time.
Yeah.
All right, Matt will be listening. Okay. Appreciate you, buddy. There he goes, Matt Hayes with the XL Primetime crew coming up. ET tomorrow on the program. I mean, the highly anticipated unveiling of the 1989 Topps baseball card pack.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Going to break it out. Now, I know you got a meeting in the middle of the show tomorrow, so I want to find a time when you, Tony, and I can retire on all of the Randy Johnson rookie cards that we pull out of there and the Ken Griffey's and what have you. I was looking at a ranking of the top. We're not going to get rich. I'll put it that way. And chances are we're going to get a bunch of, I call him Steve Brawns, because he was like the example of a nobody, like an average, below average player that when I was collecting cards in the late 70s, I get 50 of him for every one Reggie Jackson or Pete Rose, right? That's just the way it goes.
Right.
So it'll probably be much ado about nothing, but we'll unveil the yet-to-be-opened 34-year-old pack of cards tomorrow on the program, in addition to talking Jaguar football with you for another couple hours. Fat Tony, hope you enjoyed your vacation. For Tony Smith, for E.T., great job. I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. Stick around because XL Primetime is straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Go Jacksonville!
This is Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go.